As a parent, what's the worst thing you've told your child? I told my son that he would be an addict and a failure, just like his Uncle Mike. My son was an energetic and optimistic kid. At the time, he was going through a rough patch at school. His grades were slipping, friendships were ending, and his demeanor had switched from the energetic, optimistic kid I once knew to a nihilist and painfully unhopeful individual. For weeks, I'd been screaming at him to take his life more seriously and to chase the ambitions he once had. I finally had it once I was called into the principal's office to discuss a transfer for my child to an alternate education school. In a moment of sheer frustration, I looked my son straight in the eyes and screamed, "If you keep this up, you're going to turn into a failure just like your Uncle Mike." As soon as I said it, the room went cold. His eyes drained of all their color, his mouth dropped slightly open in a state of shock, and then I watched as he silently cried. His Uncle Mike, my brother, has struggled with addiction and unemployment since his teen years, often opting to spend a night on the street over working a job. After I said those words, my son became everything I said he would. I sent him down a dark path. I hadn't just criticized him in that moment. I had stripped away all his potential and hopes for the future. I'm one person who was supposed to cheer him on and support him no matter what, but I took all of that away in an instant. He started spending more time in his room, often playing loud music and ignoring my attempts to talk to him. He started going out more often, and he was drunk nearly all the time. By the time he turned 18, he went ghost and abandoned the family. My attempts to find him went unnoticed. As a mother, it's one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through. Not knowing where he was or if he was safe, and not being able to reach him ruined me. It was the only thing on my mind for the entire time he was gone. 3 years after he vanished, I got a call from an unknown number. It was a social worker at a rehab facility, and she broke the news that my son had been admitted. But not only that he'd asked for me. My son had been admitted for a crippling substance abuse issue, and he had been in and out of psych wards for the last year. The rehab facility was 3 states away, and I didn't have any paid time off left, but I dropped everything and just began driving. I had a chance to make things right, and I didn't want to waste it. When I walked into the center, our eyes met. The color that drained from his eyes that day still hadn't returned, but I could still tell it was my son. The sight of him terrified me because he became everything I said he would be, a mirror of his Uncle Mike. We had a difficult conversation that day. The first thing I did was silently cry and just hold him. We spoke not as parent and child, but as 2 flawed individuals looking for a second chance. Both of our lives stopped the day I said those words. He admitted that my comparison to Uncle Mike had stayed with him, and became a self-fulfilling prophecy. After that, our relationship changed. He got off substances and we got him a job. We began working on his application to a local community college, and I did everything I could to make up for everything I had done. The passion he once had never returned though. He still wanted to be alone and disconnected. Things never fully changed, and I was never able to fully repair our relationship, even after multiple therapy sessions and attempts to reconcile. In April of 2022, he unalived. I still think about what I said every single day. I wish I never said it. Maybe he was doomed from the start, but I think it was my words that pushed him down the very dark tunnel he couldn't crawl his way out of. I wish things turned out differently. It will forever be my biggest failure and regret in life.